Órale, Cholo Choque, los tres chingones, boxing shots to all the chingones y chingonas. And here I just want to touch a little bit about the undercard that took place in the Canelo Munguia fight. You know, you had some pretty good fights in the prelims with Mo Ramos and those guys, but the undercard here, right? I was actually one that was kind of excited to watch this. I was just like, yeah, you know what? I want to see. I always like watching Brandon Figueroa. I'm a fan of Mario Barrios and Montes Staniones. Like I said, I've never heard of the guy, but once I heard of him, I was interested. I heard of him because he was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz. So I was like, hey, let me see what this guy's got. Let me see what he's made out of. So I was kind of excited to see him. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you guys this, man. This undercard fell just a little bit flat for me. I was expecting a little bit more. Mario Barrios, he's always in an exciting fight. Brandon Figueroa, he always somewhat brings it, man. And I was a little bit let down. Montes Steniones, I thought it was a pretty decent fight. I watched it all, man, from beginning to end, the whole card, and I really enjoyed that fight. I don't think he would have been able to do any damage against Virgil Ortiz, man. I think Virgil Ortiz would have smoked this dude, Holmes. But nonetheless, I do like Montestaniones. He did make a little bit of a fan of me. I do like his style, and I'm interested to see what he does next. You know, I wasn't overly impressed or anything of that nature, but to a certain degree, I he did make a little bit of a fan of me, and I do want to see what he does next. Do I think he's elite? No, I don't. I don't think he's elite, but I think he's pretty fun to watch. I'm not going to mark it on the calendar, but I am interested to see what he does next. When it comes to Brandon and Mario Barrios, man, these two guys I do know, and I have been watching their careers, and especially Mario Barrios, dog. It was a little bit of a dud. Now, I do understand that Maidana was kind of just running around the ring a little bit. He engaged, he didn't engage too much, but he did make the fight a little bit boring. He was tagging Barrios, man. He had Barrios's, I think it was his right eye that was starting to shut. Um, he did win the fight, but I gotta see more, man. Mario Barrios, like, come on, dog. You know, I've been really vouching for this guy because I do think he's a pretty good fighter. I don't think he's great, but I do think he's pretty good. He's always fun to watch. But man, I'll tell you guys, man, that co-main event between him and Maidana, it was somewhat of a sleeper. It was it was like the most action boring fight because you see them move a lot, but not a lot of action. And coming off the Magdaleno and Brandon Figueroa fight, Brandon Figueroa, man, like, dog, what is up with you, homie? This was time for you to shine, Holmes. And in some of these rounds, dog, I really had Magdaleno winning this fight. So I mean, ultimately Brandon Figueroa did what he had to do, right? But I'm a fan of the Heartbreaker. I think he really needs to come out to Shawn Michaels' music. Honestly, if your nickname is Heartbreaker, come out with the Shawn Michaels music, man. But look, I was really defending this undercard. I thought it was pretty decent on paper. After watching it, maybe it was just the co-main event that just kind of left me just like, come on, man, what the heck is going on here, right? But look, like it always says, it takes two to tango, right? So I'm not gonna blame Mario Barrios too much. That guy is always willing to engage. At the same time, man, if you got a guy not willing to engage, if you could cut off the ring, dog, and make it work for you. Maidana was always kind of in the fight to a certain degree, but yeah, it was a little bit of a letdown, man. You guys let me know. What did you guys think of the undercard? Now, honestly, Holmes, honestly, I'd like to see Montesteniones now against Mario Barrios. Make that fight happen. Make that fight happen. Brandon Figueroa, he always brings it, man. So we'll see what happens with him. But what was your guys' thoughts on the undercard? Were you guys excited for it? Did it surprise you? What about the co-main event? I was really looking forward to the co-main event. I didn't really know anything about Maidana other than it's Chino Maidana's younger brother, so I was expecting for him to bring it the way he does, but no, that's not what happened at all, man. He was just kind of moving around the ring, running around the ring, covering up, throwing a 1-2. He did catch Barrios here and there. He did, but it was a little bit of a sleeper, Holmes. We'll definitely get to the main event on the live show, but on this one, I just kind of want to touch on the undercard and see what your guys' thoughts was on the undercard, man. Because when I saw it on paper, yeah, I was a little excited. But then watching the actual fights, um, some were all right. I don't want to say that it was completely boring, but it wasn't as good as I was thinking. And maybe I had my expectations just a little too high. So, Trucker, los tres chingones, boxing shots, all the chingones y chingonas. I'll catch you guys on next round.